Komal Kotwal. I am currently the founder and principal consultant of EquiSustain. We are a sustainable design consultancy based in Doha in the US. Previous to that, I was a principal at HOK, leading one of their sustainable practices based out of their US office, Houston office. So today, before we get started, I just wanted to ask a question to the audience, and we'll see if we can do this little interactive exercise. I just want to know what a sustainable design, what does a sustainable building mean to you? What I want to quickly start over here is sustainability historically has focused on addressing environmental impacts, but really the need of the hour, and it was good to see in many of your responses, you already talked about this. So, we're talking about redefining sustainability to be more than just environmental impacts, to include human health, climate change, as well as social equity. And move the conversation from really sustainable to regenerative. So what we mean here is, instead of talking about sustainability as something to reduce scarcity, the need is to change the conversation to abundance. So from minimizing disturbance to enhancing habitat, from reducing water use to really generating water. Like, how can we create buildings and environments that actually harvest energy, not just save energy, or add project value, engage the community, and it's not just about efficiency. So as architects, designers, real estate professionals, we have a profound influence on the built environment and really impact people's life daily. So the topic of my conversation today is that sustainability can no longer sit in the hands of a champion. It is about an integrated design process. Decision points throughout the planning, the design and construction phase really give us opportunities to mitigate these climate risks, embody resilience, and really promote healthy environments for the occupants. So before we go into the integrated design process, this field of sustainability within the built environment is really evolving rapidly. It's no longer just about energy and water. We also have to think about other aspects and keep in pace with the current trends and emerging needs. So I'm going to talk about these 6 areas as main key principles. The first one being energy and carbon. We are very savvy, with all of us are, with the idea of energy efficient design and carbon footprint reduction in the built environment, and how architects need to adapt and grow with that. The second principle of sustainability we want to be cognizant of is not just reducing water use, but also the quality management. So how can water be an important aspect of decarbonization, right from water efficient fixtures, use of native plantings inside design, also hydration stations, allowing for health and well-being aspects, creating clean water stations throughout our designs, and then discussing water reuse strategies. The third principle of sustainability, we always talked about sustainable site management, but changing the conversation really about talking about the potential of decarbonization through nature-based solutions presents an innovative frontier. And here is where, at length we go into regenerative design, biophilic design, as in the design that connects us to nature, and thus the health impacts as well. The fourth principle I want to touch upon is materials and circular design. Designers really now have to adopt a holistic approach when it comes to materials. It's not just enough to have recycled content or low VOC materials, but embracing circular design, considering the health impacts of the materials, then reuse and inclusion and sustainable specifications across the building's life cycle is critical. And the next aspect is, related to materials, is advancing human sustainability within design. So true sustainability is about embracing abundance, not just for the planet, but its inhabitants too. So how can we leave a legacy that enhances human well-being in our environment? So creating designing for inclusivity and equity, such that as our design is made for all types of users, not just sort of the typical users in an office space, for example. Designing for good sound, designing for health and well-being and air quality and human health amongst the mix as well. And then obviously most audience here would be aware of different sustainable certifications. In my viewpoint, these certifications, sometimes they don't get people are critical about it, but they are important in ensuring accountability through third party verification and guaranteeing incorporation through different so that you can actually check if someone is claiming their building to be sustainable, is it truly sustainable or not. So coming to the meat of my conversation today, navigating the sustainable design process and the team's role in it. The most important aspect of sustainability integration today is these four aspects where, you are looking at a synergetic mindset. How can we all work together, collaborate together? Systems thinking. What I mean by that is, not just putting in a strategy because it helps the energy, but also looking at how it impacts the water efficiency in a building. Each person in a project knowing their role and then establishing accountability for the sustainable practices, knows how to steer the ship in the right direction. So where do we start? We in our projects like to start in what we call the sustainability visioning workshop. In my mind, this is one of the most critical elements for a successful deep integration of within a project, involving everyone and all stakeholders to identify goals, discuss opportunities and challenges, and chart out process. Who do you invite for such a program? Pretty much everyone, from the owner to architecture, the contractor if on board, and the sustainability lead or champion runs this meeting in a workshop style format for minimum 2 hours, but on complex projects, we've even done a half day or a full day. What do you discuss in a visioning workshop? It's not just about what are the strategies, but you start with the impact of the project on its surrounding. What does the owner have in mind for look and feel? How can the sustainability be incorporated into that? Are there challenges with surrounding air quality? This is really a place to ask the questions and get everything on the table. And after the visioning workshop, you should commit to documenting all of these discussions to create that accountability and have what we call a sustainability charter, and an action plan and a timeline with aligns, establish a series of meetings right after this visioning workshop throughout the design process. So you can whatever targets are identified for energy, water, materials in this workshop then can be tracked throughout the process. So with regards to a quick summary of the tools and methodologies, this is a quick example of what an integrated process looks like, beginning with the sustainability charrette or workshop and then going to each of the phases. And I believe we can share these slides if anyone wants to get into the details of what different aspects of the process look like. There are various design tools that we use throughout the process, and these change as the process evolves, which is why I'm showing you just a sampling of, Climate Studio is, for example, something best used at concept design and schematic design. But as the process project progresses, you want to get into different complex softwares, but not just focus on energy, but also have material trackers or have life cycle cost analysis tool to really have that integrated design process be successful.